Hello again, this is John Bruno for our Mental Atherton Infinite Campus Training, and we are on part 3, the new gradebook. We have now set up our gradebook. We have created a bunch of assignments. We are looking at a previous year's quarter 4 gradebook, or at least the assignment list. And before I show you the gradebook, you've probably already seen it, but I like to say it's a lateral movement. I would not call it a step up. I would call it a step sideways. There are some nice new features. There are also some features that got taken away. Without further ado, I'm going to go to Gradebook. I'm going to click on Gradebook. First thing you're going to notice is that it's not set to the proper task. So I'm going to go to Q4 and then switch it to semester. And we're going to see all of my semester grades here. Now, there's one huge bug that we're going to come across in a little bit. And another issue is blurring out all these student names that you see on the left might hide some features, so just bear with me as I'm blocking and moving stuff around. So on the top row here we got Q4 semester. I could add an assignment directly from here, and that's under add. It just says add. It doesn't say add assignment. So when you see this add plus button, that's adding an assignment. The next thing that you'll see is there's this huge gradebook total thing sequence here. So it gives me the grade, the point possibles, in progress, the categories. It gives me a lot of stuff here. You can hide that very easily by just clicking on the grade totals. Now you notice once I hide it once, it doesn't want to come back. And this is the bug I just aforementioned. So what you have to do is get off of it and go back on it if you need to get back to that gradebook total. So while I'm here, before I hide that, a plus with the new gradebook system is that you can sort by almost anything. Anything that has one of these double up-down arrows here is a way to sort. So if I wanted to see who got the highest professionalism grade, I could switch, and this would tell me that so-and-so, so-and-so got the highest professionalism grade. Or if I want to see who got the highest score on projects, it is a different student that got the highest score for all their projects. I can sort by grades. I can see who's getting their A's, who's getting their F's, who's getting their C's. I could also do this by assignment. Why would you want to do that? Well, let's say like my final animation assignment, you know, I'm grading them. They're due the date of the week before the final. So I'm going to sort by final animation, and then I can find, if I sort the other direction from bottom down, I can have all of the missing assignments. These 4 kids did not turn in the final, so then I can harass and pursue them. I could do this for any assignment on any part of the gradebook. If I wanted to go back to my students by alphabetical order, I can either click on that assignment or go back to students, and I can sort by the students over here. We can't see it right now because we're not able to post grades right now, but if you wanted to post a grade, I could post a grade right here. I could click up, there'll be a little post sign, and that'll allow me to post the grades to whatever task is at hand. This is only open during the grading windows. Alright, so I'm going to collapse my grade totals and show you a few more features with this gradebook. Alright, so let me just go through the top horizontal line first. So there's a couple things I can do here. For every single assignment, I can expand my comment section. So let me show you one that actually has comments on them. There we go. I could, for every student that did not turn one in on time, I put be sure to turn them in as you finish, be sure to turn them in as you finish. But I can also give notes like, careful on that walk, make sure there's enough in between room for blah, blah, blah. I can play with the camera angles before your final submission. I can tell students with their grade why they got that grade or what else I am looking for. You could add comments before, but you would have to jump all the way back to the assignments column and do it there. I can also add missing checkmark notes here. I can also just type in M to the score. I have provided a list of what all of these mean. There is a list provided on the document I gave you that has all of that of what I just said. Other things I can do, let's just pretend I'm going to give every kid extra credit. Let me hide that. Another thing I could do is I could expand this out and I have a fill scores or comments. So what I could do is I could say I can fill in with a score if a lot of people are missing an assignment. I can put M there, and I can put comment like, turn these in by Friday. And then down here I could hit all the empty scores, get an M. And that way, every kid that hasn't turned in the assignment that I've just graded will get an M, and they'll have an even note and a deadline of when they can do it. So if I hit fill all, that'll all pop in there like that. Now if I wanted to get rid of all those, I could say fill scores, and I can just leave it blank, and I can just hit fill all, and it says, do you want to get rid of the flags? And they're all gone. I can get rid of the notes by the same way. Just have a comment, just check on comment and fill, and it goes away. So that's how you can get rid of comments, that's how you can get rid of stuff. It's very dangerous. You could wipe out scores though. So for example, where are some scores I don't care about? The attendance scores here, actually I don't want to leave those in, but if I fill the score and did a fill all, I could wipe out or override all the scores and then have to re-enter the grade. So it's a powerful tool, but it's also a dangerous tool. Other things I can do from this top line is I could also edit the settings, and I hit save and continue for the gradebook, and it brings me back to the assignment options. And then let's say as I'm grading, I'm like, you know what, I really want to make this out of 20 points instead of 10 points. I can hop into this window here and then hop back. And I do that again by clicking on this top line here. I can do it in collapse mode or in expanded mode. So every single column here is expandable, and I can add all these different notes, and I can hide them away. So now I'm moving on to the vertical column. The vertical column lets me do a few things. One thing I can do is if I wanted to kind of examine one student a little more closely, I can click on that student's name. His picture will pop up to remind me. I have all of the student ID stuff, which you can't see because I'm blocking all that stuff. I could give a comment to the student overall, like great work. Other things in the vertical column are I could expand out any student's info and look at it with a nice statistical plot graph. So if I click on the student's name, his picture and stuff have been blocked out, but you can see where he lies amongst the rest of the class with these plot graphs. So some statistics teachers will be very happy. What you're looking for here is this white box is the middle 50%. This top line here is the top 25%, and this bottom line here is the bottom 25%. The line in the very middle of this box is the average. So for my total class, my class average is around a B+, and this student got what's looked like an A-. The top score in my class is about a 95, 97, I believe, and the bottom score was a 20%. How awesome is that? And we could look at every single assignment the same way. If you had like a parent meeting and you kind of wanted to quickly examine that stuff, you could also hide all of these. If you just wanted to look at one student, I could click on a filter, which is underneath settings. So I can filter a student by just picking on one of the students. Again, their names are being blocked out right now. And now I'm just looking at that one individual student. So if I was talking with a parent, I could hide everything else and just examine one student. Assignment by assignment, which is over here, or by their totals or their categories or whatever you'd want to do. All right, since I have the setting tab open, why don't I show you a few other things here. I like to turn the spark line graph off because there's so many things that it's really just an all or nothing. Here's a student that turned in most things and it just kind of hovers around, but it's almost too small to be useful. So I like to just turn it off. It's just noise, and that looks better. You do, however, have to do this class by class. You'll notice there's no like mass assign these settings to my other classes. They don't transfer over, so there's that. You can do a red and green for all your different classes. It has been requested that there is a yellow for like the D grades. I don't know if that's coming, but I can just click on pass-fail for coloring grades, and you can see everything that's there. Green is on, red is off, and then pass-fail for coloring scores. I could also do this for all my assignments. You'll see my entire gradebook becomes very colorful. I actually like to have these on. I find it helpful to kind of track and do stuff, but it's really going to be your preference, hence it's called settings or preference. I was going to say bleh. Other things you can do are you can change the order in which they appear by ascending or descending. This is most recent deadline versus latest deadline. So descending would be the latest deadline. That's like Q4 attendance is the last thing I do. I could also display the criteria. I can sort it by sequence, due date, then the name, or I can sort it by category, sequence, due date, and then the name. So you may notice that there are no category sections there. You cannot collapse a section of a category anymore, which is a bummer. So you can sort them by section, but there's no designation between each section. Why? I'm not sure. It's just not there, which is one of the things that was lost. You can also tell it to remind you to save before you're leaving. This way, it's a little safer, so you can be like, hey, remember to save. One other feature I forgot to mention with the Infinite Campus Gradebook is that because it is now HTML and not Java-based, you don't have to constantly update Java, and then it is also scalable. So if I hit Command+, it will make everything here bigger and keep everything in sync and in line. Or if I hit Command-, it will make everything much smaller. So for those of us with bad eyes, we can make them very large. And for those of us who like to look at very tiny data, we can also zoom it way out. And that's about it. So I can look at individual students' performances with a plotline graph to see how they're doing. I could expand out a grade place to add comments, which I have found pretty powerful and not too hard to do. The fill score comments actually helps when there's a lot of missing assignments, or you want to just blanket a comment across every single student per assignment. And that's about it. Posting grades again will pop up right here over grade, which will post it into this section right here. And that's all I have for the gradebook.